So my whole life I always felt like I was holding onto the handrail to make sure I didn't slip into complete insanity. And that as long as people didn't know that I was keeping my hand firmly on the rail and just assumed that I was walking without aid, that I was a normie like everyone else, and therefore safe and pleasant or acceptable or palatable. I remember I was 2 when they brought my little baby brother home from the hospital, and somebody lifted me up to look inside the crib, and they talked so much about him, and there were so many people there, and it seemed like this was going to be a big important deal. And I looked down in the crib and I saw a little blob wrapped up, sleeping, not making any move or sound. And I thought, what a disappointment. And I went and ran to my room and played with my toys. And then as time went on, that little blob, he started crawling. And then when the bigger units were preoccupied or absent, that little one was always there. And he'd get less attention. Like, he was getting all of it, and he'd get a little less. And then I'd start to get a little more, and then we were both getting about the same amount of attention. And that little thing would just start following me everywhere. And I remember thinking that to some degree that I get the notion that this thing's going to be with me forever, and that I will somehow be obligated to accompany, or I didn't know what responsibility was back then, so I can't use that word, but I don't know, be aware of. I had to constantly be aware of this other person. I had to include them in my persistent geospatial reality. Other things could come and go, and I could forget and not hang on to them. But this thing, I always had to know where it was. It was always important. And the decision that I made as a child was, okay, cool, I'm okay with that. And to make that decision by yourself without being talked to or influenced or anything, I think that's the stuff that we're here for and we're born for, is to say, you know what? I will give up the path for a different one if I'm supposed to, and it's better. And me having a brother always made it so that I knew that other people were real. I knew it. Like, after he passed, sometimes I would wonder, and go, am I? Because like I said, I cling to sanity. I would wonder, are people aware like I am? Like, are they real? Do you drive through towns and it's only actually 1 or 2 people in that whole town, and then the rest is fake? Is distance and space a distortion? Yeah, so I doubt reality a lot. And I would doubt that I had my memories. If you've seen Dark City, where is it Kiefer Sutherland? He implants memories into John Doe's mind, and he creates his entire childhood so that he can fine-tune whatever's in his brain and direct him. And they do it with everybody. The whole world is like a giant trap run by soulless jellyfish that need to live off of people's dreams and shit. I don't know. It's a spiritual predecessor to the Matrix. But I don't think that you can fabricate somebody's entire memory. I think that you can fabricate memories, because I think that memories are something that we create ourselves. So if you can influence a person to manufacture a false memory, then they will uh, possess it and then incorporate it and then identify. But is that somebody's entire life? It'd be a lot of work to make somebody like. How often do you think about your past? It's kind of a big deal. Most people are pain driven, and pain is something learned. And so you have to have a past. And if you're on some kind of path right now, for most people, it's the result of grief, loss, discomfort, compromise, something like that. Just facts of life. But I don't believe you can fake your entire memory and your entire childhood, and I don't believe you can. So I know my brother's real. And I know that all that time that I spent with him, I felt something, and I observed something, and I made myself available to something, and I got the groundwork in, and I was able to go, if you could ever do another test to see if other people were real, I did it. You know, I grew up with this guy. I bounced every idea off him. We wrestled, we fought, we held each other when at funerals. You know, like, come on. I know people are real because I know my brother was real. And that's a bit maybe unlucky, unfortunate, because a lot of people will never have that proof, maybe. But you can't fake your whole memory. And other people are real. And I know the problem that anybody would have watching this would go, well, how can I believe your story? And how are you not a figment of my imagination coming up with a story that I thought just to scare me, like some kind of Lovecraftian concept? I can't worry too much about your psyche and insecurities. I have to worry about mine. So where I'm at today is, yeah, our thoughts and our histories and our memories, they're subjectively real, and I believe wholeheartedly that other people do exist. Now, is there 6, 7, 8 billion people in the world? I don't know. You know, is the shape of the world accurate? I don't know. Is history what we've been told? I really don't think so. So I don't know all the particulars, but I know that I'm not alone. And I know that there is a quality of this life that is real to me, enough so that I bond to it and cling to it. You know, I'm the moth to a flame. The realness of this world is what attracts me. It's my magnetic north. You know, what is real? Is materialism real? No. Is hedonism real? No, it's actually not. All that's really real is that membrane connection, contact between what's unimaginable and everything else that could and will happen. And we exist in there. We are that arc. We are the arc between death, which isn't the destruction of life, but the absence of life, and all of life. And life is infinite potential. I don't mean a person breathing. I mean all of creation, everything in it. That is us. That is us. And every living thing that we bond to in this wonderful place that we live. We are real. I'm real. You're real. The things that we experience, they're as real as we choose for them to be. But I need to stop I need to take a firm grip on that rail. I need it. For me. Maybe others do too. Because I need to remind myself that as flighty and as foolish and as lackadaisical and whimsical as I may be, one shot. It starts, it ends. This is it. I need to see what life is for what it is, appreciate it, respect it, and take full advantage of it. Because it really scares me that the pollution, the evil that I see, is less and less chess and Game of Thrones and Shield versus Hydra. It's more the graying of our world. The just dump chemicals everywhere, anywhere, all the time, and eventually all the DNA in the world will turn to shit. It's blot out the sun and everybody will live in darkness, and who will be responsible? Who will be accountable? They'll never know. It's anonymous. It's, the gate openers, the well poisoners, the great deceivers, the identity thieves. Well, it's not going to be red knight versus blue knight or white knight versus black knight. It's going to be the garden's a wasteland. There it is. And we're still little babies, supposed to be living 1,000 years old, but we ain't barely making it to 70 now. Still a dream not developed, not awake, not mature yet. And as long as they keep poisoning the world and smoking out our minds and blotting out the sun and canceling our history and eliminating our future, then we're turning from this oasis into a toxic waste dump of the mind, the body, the spirit, the world. And how do you beat that? Well, I want to offer encouragement, because we will beat it. It's going to happen. It's already happened. We just need to perceive it. And it's like this. Outliers. Infinite potentiality. The impossible being made possible. Like in the Bible. Things happening genetically that defy current logic. Like, can a child be born of a different bloodline? Well, historically, I guess it could be. Because, look at zygomatic twins? Twins that are born different genders, different colors. There's children that are born to same parents where one is terribly weak and ill and another child is terribly healthy. Well, the randomness of the thing, it's not really random, but the randomness of the thing means that there are outcomes that are unpredictable and unexpected. And hell is very well organized. The devil is a lord of order and chaos. And even the Lord of order and chaos cannot account for infinite potential. It can't create. So a new idea, a new concept, a new entity, a new essence, a new dream, a new path, a new plan. The devil can't account for that. Evil can't account for that. The unimaginative and death cannot account for new. That is the struggle. So something new will come along, and we will yield it. All we have to do is nurture ourselves and make ourselves fertile environments for this wonderful new transcendental, progressive, reparative process. I like to think it's going to be something like one person gets an upload, and that upload repairs their DNA. And when their DNA is repaired, then they gain a lot of the access to a lot of the abilities or traits that people used to have, and to say one of them is uh, telepathy, to be able to share a thought or to perceive other people's thoughts. And then if one person is there, then that means he's on blast, right? And he can reach out, and he's Santa, he can go anywhere in the world, and he could deliver presents to anyone, and put a coal in someone's stocking anywhere at any time. And once one person can do that, I think to be able to do that requires the desire to share that with others. And so the first thing that person's going to do is share it with anybody and everybody who's receptive and interested and available. And then this whole thing will take off like a powder keg. The evil's been creeping so long, waiting to smother us, and life is going to break through like a chicken out of an egg, or a plant out of a seed, or a child out of a womb. I've been down, but that's just me paying my toll and excising my karma, I guess. The whole time I knew that everything would work out. I've always had faith in the big picture. It's me I'm hard on, because I often delineate between me and the big picture. That's hard. I forget that I was always meant to be, and I forget that I'm exactly who I was supposed to be, and I forget that everything has worked out exactly the way it was meant to. But that's me in a nutshell today. I'm a little excited. Like I said, a lot's going on. Some good, some bad, all of it interesting. I'm still alive, sucking wind, and you are too. Have fun out there. God bless.